I'll record it, no problem. So normally it's recording now. Okay, keep the motivation going, right. Take risks. Very good. Money blocks, yep. Or blocks will be, yeah, cool. Let's go on with it then. Let's dive into this. All right. So let me tell you a little bit more of myself. So let me close the chat here because otherwise I don't think you are going to see the whole screen. Oh, okay. So when I was 21 years old, I told my parents something no parent actually wants to hear. I told them I want to be a clown. Oh my God. Yeah, because I was totally in the wrong environment. There were no artists in my environment, nothing like this. I had no skills. I didn't even know how to begin. No certifications. There was no internet then. It was late 80s. So there was no internet, right? There weren't even cell phones back then. I had no plan and I had no money, right? But still, I had this dream. And everybody told me it was impossible. It was impossible. It is impossible, Eddy. You can't do that. This is a dream, forget it. But as you know, it always seems impossible until it's done, right? So I became a professional clown. And to do that, I needed a success mindset. I needed to find out what I was. And that's the mindset I needed to make a success of that all. And I did a lot of things in this 25 years. I made a lot of theater productions. I even made a short movie, educational products. I wrote a book. I trained clowns, gave keynotes, and I had a world-class balloon act. And all that made that I built a 5-figure business being a clown. And let's get into that a little bit. Let's give you some idea of what I did in these 25 beautiful years, or almost 25 years. And as you can see, I worked a lot with balloons, which became my, let's say, my mark, right? My unique thing. I even designed a world-class act. And at some point, I was the only one who could do it with balloons. So balloons were my thing, but clowning was the main thing, as you can see, in all shapes of forms, because people often think that the clown is the red nose, but there's more to it than the red nose. You see all the disguises and all the things that I wore to make a living out of this clowning and to follow my dream, follow my passion during these wonderful years. And one of the things I did during these years, I was also a hospital clown. And these 10 years, they were really, really, really the most important lessons that I could learn in life, because I visited children that were literally about to die. Some of them even had just a few days. And that work really brought the best out of me. So I used my passion. By following my passion, I touched a lot of people's life in a good way, of course. So that work, what did I learn? I got a lot of insight in life and in people, of course. I learned to listen. And there are not so many people who can listen, because most people, they listen with the intention to answer. And I learned that listening is something else. I learned to have gratitude, because what I saw in hospitals, through that, I really learned the value of life and what I had. Also an important thing, I learned to be authentic, be myself, have no judgment. But the biggest thing I took away was leadership. And maybe that sounds funny, but as a clown, you have no authority at all. So if there is a dying child, the last thing that's on the mind of the parents is to let a clown into the room. They can't see why they would let a clown into this room. They have other things to worry about. Also the doctors, they don't see it. They don't see the value. The nurses don't see the value. And even the cleaning ladies, they say, no, you don't have to go in that room. So you have no authority at all. And still, you have to get into the room because you know that you can make miracles, right? And as of today, Today, still people come up to me and thank me for what I did. But the most important thing I learned was that I had to have a success mindset. It's all about mindset, whatever you do. Now, how can you create this success mindset? Because there is something you can create. You don't have it by yourself. It's not learned in school, for example, that nobody teaches you, right? Now, the first thing you need to do is figure out what success is. And if you just see a dictionary, then it will be the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. But you need to figure out what success is for you. You need to define your own success. And for you, that can be, I want to be the best dad in the world. That can be your definition of success perfectly. So that's what you got to figure out first. Now, when you figure that out, you have two basic principles you need. And they will emerge when you do the work, when you go through the steps, they will emerge by themselves. But these are the basic principles. First, you need to have an unshakable belief in yourself. You need to be convinced that what you do is the best thing there is in the world. And that unshakable belief will come. Follow the steps. The second thing, the basic principle of having success is you need to be willing to fail. If you are afraid of failing, you will never have success because it's all in the failing. So these are the two basic principles. Now, Steve Jobs already told, if it's impossible to fail, if you learn from your mistakes and don't give up, right? Not the first to tell this. Now, let's go into these 5 steps. Now, the important thing to know is that each step will bring the next, and it's a kind of chain, right? If the first one is good, then you can go to the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and that's how you build everything up, actually. Now, it all starts with what? It all starts with passion. Passion is the fuel for success. So that's why the first step is that you need to be crystal clear about your passion. But what does crystal clear mean? Well, you need to discover your why. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why is that? Why is my why? Is that to help people? Is that to earn money for my family? Is that to be number one in some kind of thing you are doing? Is that to make a lot of money? Is that to change the world, etc., etc.? You need to define your why or to discover it. The second thing you need to do in this first step of crystal clarity is to know yourself. It is more, it all starts with yourself. What are your good sides, bad sides? Where do you need to work on, etc.? There are a lot of tests for this. Personally, I use Management Drive in my coaching business. But the easiest way is take 10 friends and let them answer 4 questions. 1, where am I good at? 2, where am I bad at? 3, why are they my best friends? And 4, what would they do? Let them say something about me when I'm dead, right? You get an eulogy. These 4 things, simple. And you get to learn about yourself because there sometimes people don't know themselves really. The third thing in crystal clarity about your passion is don't let money lead you. And it's a big thing because money is important and a lot of people are led by money. But if you are led by money, you're not leading by passion and you will never get the success you want. The fourth thing is passion is not job related. I hear people say, yeah, I have a passion for being a cook, but that's not your passion, right? Being a cook is not a passion. Being a cook is preparing food or maybe help people or maybe astonish people, etc., etc. So it's never job related. You got to figure out what it is. If you have total clarity about your passion, this passion will lead to confidence, which is really important in success, of course. Now, here are the steps within the confidence thing. You need to realize the value of your work. There's a little typing error there. If you are not convinced about your own work, you'll never get success. And that's where the unshakable beliefs comes in. In every layer of your process, you have to be convinced of your value. And for every part of the way, there is an audience that will take your product or that will listen to you or that you can do something for. But you have to realize it, that your work has. It's a marathon. Success is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Don't believe the things like build a six-figure business in 30 days. It is the biggest BS you can believe. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And failure, I think this is a good one, right? Failure is success in progress. Einstein said that. And I totally dig this. You know, the more you fail and the more often and the better you fail, it's strange to say, the more likely you are going to get your success. So don't be afraid to fail. Learn new skills, right? In your confidence, you need to learn new skills. Sometimes you need to even start from scratch with some things. Don't be afraid of that. Have the confidence to do it, right? And then the third step is this confidence will make you do what you love. And that's a big one, doing what you love. That's a really big step in the 5-step program. Because if you don't do what you love, you will give up at some point, right? There has to be some things you do that you just love to do, that even if somebody didn't pay you, that you would do them. And if you do that, yeah, then you don't need to work because then it's fun, right? You're wasting your time if you're not doing what you love, right? And to do what you love, you need to do the following things. Very important is to optimize your environment. And there are 3 levels. The first level is you have to optimize, in optimizing your environment, is the people you're around. Which people are you around? Maybe you're in the wrong people, amongst the wrong people. You have to change that. The second one is the physical environment, right? How is your workspace looking? Or let's say I'm on a diet, right? Your physical environment, if you have a bowl of candies in the middle of your table or cake in your fridge, that doesn't work if you're on a diet. So you need to change your physical environment. And the third one is your mental environment, right? You need to self-develop yourself or be in an environment where you can develop yourself. There's these 3 things, these 3 environments you need to get to. Learn how to say no. If you want to do what you love, you have to start saying no to things because otherwise you'll never get to the point that you're only doing things that you love and that will lead you to success. You can't wear all the hats. So that means you only do what you love and all the other things you have to let other people do. And I know in the beginning it's hard because you don't have money, you have to start your business, but there is always a way. Or you do it for a short period, the things that you don't want to do. But at some point, you need to say no to some things and only do what you love. And I'll explain why later. Break loose from your heroes. You know, everybody has heroes. I was a big Tony Robbins fan. I was a big Rich Litvin fan. But at some point, you need to break loose from them. Because if you stay following your heroes, which is good because you learn a lot from them, but then you'll never get your unique self. You need to, at some point, you need to be your unique self. You got to break loose from your heroes to move further and to have this authenticity that you are you and you do what you do best and love. So that's what's being unique is. Upgrade these skills you have. If you are good in writing, be a top writer. If you are good in football, make sure you're the best footballer or that you play with the best at least, right? So upgrade everywhere you can. Now, number 4, and this is the 4th step in the chain. If you start doing what you love, you will get tons of energy. The energy will flow, right? Because you are doing what you love, of course. You will never have Mondays anymore, right? Like, oh, I have a Monday feeling, I don't want to go to work. You won't have that anymore because you are doing what you love. It gives you energy. Now, this is a really important one here. In this process of doing what you love and getting this energy, you need to master your mind and emotions. Now, what does that mean? Is you have to stop reacting and start controlling. I think maybe there will be questions about it and I'll explain it better. I'm going through the whole things now, so I'm really waiting for your questions. Write them down, put them in the chat. If you, at some point, have this energy to do what you love, you have to divide it, right? It's a mistake a lot of people make. They are so into doing what they love and they are all in with their mind, but they forget their body. You need to have both. You need to do some sport. You need to have some balance in that, right? Walking, doing sports, whatever, but balance between your mind and your body, really important. And last but not least, that's the point where everybody is looking at, this energy will lead to money. Now, if you have the energy and if it's leading you to money, you first have to clear out your money blocks. A money block can, for example, be not asking enough money for your services, which brings you into trouble if you don't ask enough money. That could be a block, so you have to clear them. The next thing you have to clear is your limited beliefs. If you think that money doesn't make you happy, then you have a problem. Because you need to have money to fulfill some dreams or to whatever you want to need. There are some things that don't need money, but most of the things need money. It's the value you get for what you bring to people. And if you have limited beliefs about money, it won't work, right? And there are so many limited beliefs, but we'll get back to that also in the questions. Now, focus your energy on the process, not on the problem. Most people just see the problem and they want a solution for the problem. They want a solution for the problem. And in the meantime, things are happening and they don't see it. They overlook it. So focus on the process. The process is more important than the problem. I learned that the hard way as a hospital clown, where when I trained clowns, most of the clowns, they opened the door and they went straight to the child, right? Well, there's no easier way than to let a child cry than doing that. If you go directly to the problem, the child will cry. It will cry his lungs out, right? So you have to see what's going on. You have to look at the process. So this is the thing. Passion leads to confidence, which leads to doing what you love, will lead to energy, and that will lead to money. It's not the other way around. Like most people look at it, they want to earn money and they're going to see where they find the energy and yeah, doing what you love is also important, but not so important. So they go the other way around. It is this way, not that way. And if you apply this new mindset, you will get new results. Because you can't solve your problem by using the same kind of thinking that gets you where you are at this point. So everybody here is stuck at some point, and everybody is using the same kind of thinking to solve that problem. At some point, that doesn't work anymore. And you need to see your problems in another perspective. And that's when you follow the steps, at some point, you will have your success. Whatever that success is for you, doesn't matter. Now, I know this is fast, but after this, there will be a Q&A. And if you then have still more questions and want to talk to me personally, that's no problem. I'll put my link in the chat and you can book a call. Now, you can explain your personal situation. This is a call where there is no selling. You can't even buy anything, right? Just to clear that up. So I'll put that in the chat. And I also put in the chat, if you want to test your ability about, can I do what I love? Do I have the capacity? Therefore, I have a test. It's called Score App. And you can really test your ability to do what you love. It's quick. It's 2 to 3 minutes. And you can just fill it in and I'll get back to you. So I'll put these two in the chat and then we'll go to the Q&A. One moment, I need to stop sharing here. Okay. All right. Let's first put these things in the chat. First one I'll put in the chat is the Score app. Yep, I see. Yeah. And the second one is to book a call with me if you want more personal things to. Ooh, I did a direct message. That's not the. I need to do it to everyone. One moment. Everyone in meeting like this. So this is the book call